What's going on, Wedding Community Podcast? This is episode 13. And for those of you who don't know this little fact about me, for whatever reason, the number 13 tends to gravitate around me. It's kind of become my lucky number, which is kind of ironic because I know for a lot of people, they look at the number 13 as a bad luck number. But for me, it has become kind of my go-to number for a lot of things. And it seems like every time I do something, the number 13 pops up. So I thought I would do something a little special for this week's episode. So I do not have a guest on this week. Instead, what I did is I dove into my archives and I pulled out a class that I was able to teach for ClickCon Nation last year. And what I did is I spliced that up a little bit, added some new content, took some things away, and basically turned it into a podcast episode. So for today's episode, episode 13, I wanted to share with you this class that I did. It's all about building hype for your clients. So we walk through the importance of why we build hype for our clients, and we even walk through what our process is to increase that. I'm so excited to share this with you if you have not heard it yet, so let's jump right in. Well, before we get started, let's define what is hype. So hype is an extravagant or intensive publicity or promotion. Basically, another way you can kind of look at that is building excitement around the product or the art that you produce. You know, chances are if a client has booked you, they at least like your work, which is, a really good start. But our goal is to take that like and turn it into a love of our product and our service. So they basically become a cheerleader for our studios. Having clients that you've worked with before who become a cheerleader for you is like one of the best things you can have for your business. So let me talk about first before we kind of go into our process. What do we gain out of our process? So the first one is client trust. By us taking the time to get to know our clients, sit down, have coffee with them, hop on a Zoom call, even just a phone call, they're going to be a lot more open to us on the day of. A lot of times we're asking them questions, not just like, okay, what time's the ceremony, what time's reception, but we're asking about like how they met. What do they like about each other? What do they want out of their film or their prints? One of the big questions I asked on the photography side is, where do you want your photos to live? Like if you're just kind of looking for throw them on a flash drive, I'm going to upload them on Facebook. That's a lot different of a photo shoot than these are going to be wall art or these are going to be in an album. So we learn about all these things. So by the time we get to the wedding day, we feel like we're best friends with the couple. And that client trust is just, in the end, going to make their photos and their video look way better. Another thing we gain is we typically can book larger packages because of this. So because of us coming alongside them and being their guide for their wedding day, they might be more likely to add on things. With this wedding in particular, they started actually with a pretty small package. I think they just had one filmmaker, one photographer, 6 hours. They didn't even really know if they wanted prep. They weren't really too interested in the dancing. And by the time we got to their wedding day, they ended up adding a second filmmaker. They added a full edit on top of the short films, like kind of a documentary edit of the whole day. After they got their film, they decided to also add on an Instagram edit. And then they went on to order one of our photo video hybrid albums. If I wouldn't have taken that time, chances are they probably wouldn't have wanted those extra things because they would have felt like I was selling them as opposed to just trying to be their friend and try to help them out. And then, of course, the most important thing that we get out of our process of building excitement is referrals. And these can come directly or indirectly. So this couple in particular, we're actually going to be shooting one of our friends' weddings. Actually, it's supposed to be this year. It'll be next year now. So that was a direct referral that she was like, you have to use them kind of thing. But we also get a lot of indirect referrals from the way that we post our films and share them. And so there's been so many times I'll get a phone call or an email from a bride and I ask where she found us and she's like, oh my, I know, so-and-so, and we went to college together and we actually haven't talked in 5 years, but I knew she got married. So I started kind of snooping around her Facebook page and I saw your video and I saw all the great comments and views that everyone had. So we just knew that we had to call you. So those are the things that we gain out of our process. The other thing that we gain from this is brand loyalty. And so the way that couples will kind of come alongside our business and share it to others is like phenomenal. Not only do they leave great reviews and they're willing to leave them everywhere, like on Wedding Wire, The Knot, Facebook, everywhere. But also they they'll even just share our information within like Facebook groups. So there's plenty of times where I get tagged by a bride who's in like, the Chicago wedding planning Facebook group, and she'll tag our information. So that brand loyalty is like super, super important. So where does it all begin? So it all begins with the phone call or an email or a text of them being interested in booking with us. Obviously, not all phone calls are as intense as the one in Taken, but our phone calls are still just as important. And so when we get contacted by someone, regardless if the couple contacts us through email, Facebook, Instagram, they use a smoke signal, whatever it is, our main goal is to get on a call, to meet them in person, or to do a video chat. We call this our discovery call, and it's extremely crucial in setting the tone of what they can expect from our studio. So you might be thinking, but Travis, I close business all the time through email or social media. You know what? I do that too. But there's something special about connecting with someone and hearing their voice and their tone. And for my local market, at least here in Chicago, I know there's a lot of studios out there, and a lot of them are very transactional. And so my goal is to set the tone that we are not like our competition, that we're more relationship based, that we're more of a boutique studio, that we want to kind of be their friend. And that might actually rub some couples the wrong way, but that's fine, because they're probably not the right couple for us, because we're not looking to just kind of do the bare bones, quick, turn around, throw it on the assembly line. That's not our goal. We want to make wedding films and photography that's unique to every couple. And so if they can't, take 15 minutes out of their day to just hop on a phone call with me and basically do a little interview of the two of us, then they might not be the right fit for us. After our first call, we normally send them a quote, and we get some extra information out of them. We then have a roadmap that we follow that can branch off in different directions, kind of mattering on how the couple replies back. Once the couple is booked, we welcome them with a celebration. So, it's not just here's your invoice, here's your contract, and then that's it. We send them an email that's kind of celebrating how we're happy that they booked with us. I might even send them a text to just be like, hey, I'm so glad that you're, we're going to be a part of your day. Just whatever I can to kind of add a little bit more personal of a touch. And then we ask them to follow us on social media. And if they haven't already, so a lot of people have already followed us at this point, but if they haven't, we ask them to follow us. That way they can get to see other weddings that we're currently doing. Sometimes we have like a year or more of a head start with this client. And so we want them to be like seeing films for like the whole year. So by the time we get to theirs, they're just like beyond excited that we're finally capturing their wedding and they get to have their wedding day. We're popping up in their feed from time to time. They're like, yeah, I'm so glad that I booked with them, and this wedding is beautiful and ours is going to be beautiful. So that's a huge thing I always try to get them to do, is just to make sure that they're following us online. From there, if they did book us for photography and videography, we have an engagement session we do with them. And after the engagement session, we provide them with a welcome box and with some small prints and some gifts. We've kind of gotten a little bit more back to that like tangible, deliverable type stuff. For the longest time, people hated getting snail mail and junk mail and stuff like that. And now I feel like email has taken that place. And like, I don't even read like so many emails that come through. And so just for me to get something in the mail, it's like a little special, it's like, oh, like people don't send stuff in the mail anymore. So we like to try to have as much tangible stuff as we can. So that way we stick out a little more than just the random emails. We also then will keep track of everything within our CRM. We use 17 Hats. If you're not familiar with a CRM, it's basically a customer relationship management program. And so what it allows us to do is it allows us to be able to track everything. So we're not just using, little pieces of paper or, Google Docs here and notes over here. And it just allows everything to be in one place. And what I love about it is we can set up a workflow for each client that books. So when they do book, we can basically have a workflow for them. And that workflow will allow us to kind of keep track of everything. So we have emails that go out. Some are scheduled, some I have to send myself. And they're just ways for us to be kind of checking in with the client where we don't have to do, the extra work of necessarily picking up my phone, texting them, because I know this stuff is going automatically, which is great. Also inside of it, it has our quotes, our invoices. We have a little video. It's like, help picking out your venue, whether it's for your wedding or for your rehearsal dinner. We have a little video that explains like proper mic etiquette. So we asked them to send that to the, maid of honor, best man. Just any little content you can give them, I think goes a long way. Some couples will never watch it, which is, to be expected. Some people are just really busy. But for the ones that do, it's just going to add the value to what they've done. For us, we do charge a little more of a premium. So we want to make sure that they feel like they're getting 110% back in their investment to us. We also are willing to do final venue walkthroughs with people. So if they want to go and take they're going to go do their venue walkthrough. A lot of times we'll go with them so we can walk through everything with them, whatever we can do to make them feel more comfortable. And then lastly, we always send the text the morning of just to kind of check in. If they're getting ready to hotel, we'll ask them the hotel room. Just let them know that we're still alive. We're getting in our car and we're going to be there soon. Are you a photographer who is still using a link to deliver your final photos? Maybe you're a videographer who thinks that Vimeo or YouTube is the only way to send your final film. I want to tell you about something that is going to change the way that you do your business. Photo Flash Drive. With the products at Photo Flash Drive, we have been able to step up our delivery game. May I suggest a custom flash drive box for our photographers, a custom hard drive for when you need to send raw footage for the videographers, and a custom journal to give to your couples when they book for the wedding planners. Photo Flash Drive has a large selection of custom items that you can use for your business. Check out Photo Flash Drive today and use the promo code WCP15 at checkout for 15% off your first order. So when you get to the wedding day, I would say the most important thing you can do is be present. I know for myself, I'm a bit of a gearhead. I get a little wrapped up in the gear and everything like that, but you really want to try to remove yourself a lot of times. So like we try to be pretty minimal. Now with that said, video, it's it's kind of hard to be like extremely minimal, but we do still try to really have like a process that we follow every single wedding. And that way we're not fumbling around with gear and settings. We just know exactly how to set it up so we can get it going. So for example, for us, we run 4 cameras, for the main events like the ceremony and reception. But then when it comes to photo session, prep, dancing, it's usually just 1 or 2 cameras, but it's because we know we can get everything within those. And we don't want to be like worrying about trying to pick up this tripod, move it over here, pick up this tripod, move over there, because that might be an opportunity that we could be spending just kind of connecting with the guests that are there and just being available to them. Like if they constantly see you doing busy work all the time, that setting up this, setting up that, moving this, moving that, they're not going to ever feel like that they feel comfortable to go ask you if they could, go do these photos over here or whatever it is. So you always want to look like you're busy, of course, but you also want to make sure on the flip side that you're present for the couple and for the clients that are there. You don't want to get too wrapped up in your gear where you're just kind of fumbling around your gear and you totally miss this shot or you totally miss someone wanting to, talk to you about something important. So it's always good to just kind of be as minimal as you can when it comes to a wedding day and just be present with everyone that's there. Some other ways to add excitement to the wedding day. Share your screen. I know like when I started, I was always a little hesitant to do this because you're like, oh, my photos aren't edited. I don't want them to see this. This isn't the final product. On that tiny screen, you could really kind of show them anything. I feel like as long as it's not totally out of focus and as long as it's the two of them and they're happy and they're smiling, they're going to love it. So, that's a great way to kind of build excitement for them and to let them kind of have reassurance that like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. They're getting some really nice stuff of us and we look happy in our photos. Also same day edits. This can apply to photo or video. Obviously for video, it's a little bit more work. But we do same day edits. They're not like super, super common, but I'd say like once a year, we have a client that really wants one. And not only is it build extreme excitement for the couple because they're literally getting to watch their wedding video the day of the wedding, which is pretty awesome, and it's a very big undertaking. But that is building a lot of excitement for the people there watching. This is like your captivated audience right now. Like if you can win over their guests, you're sold with them. Like you did a great job on their friend's wedding that they attended, and if they're getting married soon, they're going to call you right away because they already saw what you do and they saw that you did it the day of. So that's going to be a great way to do it. But We've also done next day edits, which are just quick little, I grab a few clips off my camera, throw it together in Premiere, and then I have it for them on Instagram the next day. And those are just as cool and just as exciting because they're still in that excitement of the day. I know for some of us, the turnaround time might be pretty long, but you want to at least give them something to look at, because if, you wait 3 months to deliver anything, they've kind of moved on to the next thing. They might be buying a house, they might be expecting a kid now, who knows what's going on. Their best friend might be getting married, so you want to live in that excitement that they're going through right now. Also, Instagram is a really cool tool to build excitement. So we like to kind of share as much behind the scenes as we can. Some weddings we get to do more than others, because some weddings we're just running around like crazy. We don't get a chance to do anything. But for those that we maybe have a little bit of time in between things, we always like to try to show some behind the scenes. And then of course we tag the couple, so they kind of feel like they're getting to see, like, from our point of view of the wedding day, and that also adds some excitement to them. And lastly, I would just say take advantage of the phone integration that your camera has. So what we started doing recently is, say we're not doing a next day edit for the couple, say they didn't want that, I'll still connect I have Sony, so they can all connect basically wirelessly to phones. And so I'll connect my phone wirelessly to my Sony camera, and I'll pull a few clips off of there, just something that would look good vertically for Instagram, and that is like really easy to just edit together. And I'll throw that together really quick, sometimes during dinner, and then I'll have that up on Instagram like before I even leave the reception. And I'll just give the couple a little hint, like, hey, check your Instagram, and then they'll see it, they'll start sharing with all their friends on their phone, and like, oh my gosh, like, look, we're already looking at our wedding film. So there's a lot of cool little things you can do that they do take time, and they will take time out of maybe the things you need to get done that day. But I think they end up being worth it in the long run. Who's gotten this question before? When will I get my photos? Probably almost all of us, right? Same for video. It's like, when can I expect to see my video? When do I get my video? Um, so we try to do a lot to prevent this question from happening. So the ways what we do to get the where are my photos, did not get the where are my photos questions, is we send an email, like right away, pretty much like the day after the wedding, just kind of congratulating them. That also includes a little video that plays, that just kind of explains what's their next process is. We do try to text them something. So going back to that next day edit, we try to get them something, even if it's just like a quick 2-second video of them walking together. We want them to see something. And I've always found that kind of halts that question. Whereas when I started, we would just kind of wait till everything was done. So this is a month or two, down the road. And they were like texting me like every week, like, hey, do you have an updated time yet? And they don't mean to be rude. They're just super excited to see everything. They've been like looking forward to this day forever, and now they get to kind of relive it with your photo and video. So they're just extremely excited, and so it's just kind of natural for them to ask that question. So we try to give them something to look at, and ever since I started doing that, I don't get a single one asking me like when they can expect anything, because they're content with that little piece you gave them, the little email that explains what's next, and then they're good. They don't have to do anything else. And then I always just recommend to share something on social media as well, and to tag them in it. The goal is to beat the grandmas and the aunts and anyone else that took photos on their, cell phone that don't look very good. You want to get ahead of that. So when they change their profile picture and they update their Facebook status, they're using your picture and not just the not so great one that grandma took off of her phone. So now what do you do once everything's ready? First things first, we let them know that it's almost ready. Usually I do this actually after it's finished. So, I don't want to be like, hey, I'm almost done with your film. And then all of a sudden my computer crashes for a week and I can't figure out what's wrong. So I usually wait till everything's actually done. I'm done with their edit, and then I will share them something. So like it might be me, inside of Premiere, and I just grab my phone, I take a little video of me scrubbing through their footage. I might grab a quick like 10-second render out of there, and I'll, text that to them. If they got a teaser trailer, I'll throw that online. Just whatever I can do to just kind of let them know like, hey, I'm still here. Everything's looking great, and it's almost done, and you're going to be seeing it soon. Then once I've kind of let them know it's ready, I'll get everything prepared online. We primarily use Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And all of those are kind of automated a little differently the way you need to have your film. So we basically make a render for each version, and then I'll start uploading those, and then I'll kind of type out their description inside of YouTube, and then I'll just kind of copy and paste that over to Facebook and Instagram and slightly tweak it as it's needed. Like with YouTube, I don't really need a ton of hashtags, but then with Instagram, I want to fill up those hashtags. So, it'll be a little bit different per each. But generally, I can just kind of copy and paste all of that and send it over to them. We have an email. This is the email we send them, just kind of letting them know, hey, your video is ready. We just put some cute little fun stuff of like what to do while they watch the video. So it's watch it together, grab your favorite beverage, mute any distractions, turn the lights down, the volume up, and relive the excitement and emotion of your day. And then we kind of prep them on how we're doing this. And there's a reason why we have the process the way we do. So what I do is I send them an unlisted link to YouTube before anyone else gets to see it. I let them watch it. So they'll see the film. I make sure they've seen the film, just the two of them, to be able to enjoy it themselves. And then I will premiere it to Facebook, to YouTube, anywhere else that it's being shared. And so what this does is it's basically kind of like a 1-2 punch. So not only did I make an event out of their film for just two of them and made an intimate moment for that, but I also made an event for them, their family, their friends, and any other random person that they might be friends with on social media. And we prepped them on how to kind of do this. So, if I just kind of handed them this unlisted link on YouTube and I was like, okay, I'm done, thanks for having us. They're probably not gonna really know what to do with it. They're gonna be like, can I download this? Like, am I getting a flash drive? Like, what do I do? And, not everyone might be as tech savvy as we might be. So you have to kind of give them the instructions, regardless if you think they know or not. It's good to just give them the information. So the reason why we do the unlisted thing with YouTube, our goal is to build up some views on YouTube. So that way, when people are searching for the things that we've tagged the video with, which is usually related to the venue, we're showing up well. And there's kind of a little trick to YouTube. Unless something's changed, I'm pretty sure it still works this way, but you can build up views before your video goes public. So I share it with this couple, they share it with some friends, family, and then I go public. So you're almost getting like a head start on your video. Whereas like if you were just, posting it straight to YouTube, it's starting with 0 views. And unless, you're someone like Casey Neistat or something, you're not going to get like any traction. And YouTube's going to be like, oh, there's another video that was just kind of sent out to die. And they're not going to try to push you at all. But if you start out the gate with, 200 views, 1,000 views, whatever it is, that's going to give you a huge boost. And YouTube's going to see that and they're going to be like, oh, there's already a lot of people watching this video and they just posted it. Let's put this in front of some other people. So not only are we kind of hiding it for the couple so they can enjoy it together, but there's a secret kind of benefit for us to do this. And then the Facebook premiere is really cool. I don't know if anyone else does it, but I would highly recommend it when you do share something. So what you can do inside of Facebook, instead of just making it public, there's an option to premiere the video. And what it basically does is you're scheduling it to go live at a certain time, but it makes an event out of it. So it's not just like, you're scheduling it and it's all kind of hidden. And then once it's that time and day, it goes live. It actually makes an event and it tells anyone that's kind of following your page that, hey, Bella Tiamo is going to go live on Thursday at 6 p.m. To premiere this new wedding film. And then you tag the couple, you tag the vendors, whoever else you can. And so that way they know that, this video is going live soon. And then kind of one of the last big things when it comes to sharing the film is just don't forget about the vendors. So we try to tag everyone. We actually get this information in our questionnaire. We ask the couple for any important vendor and we ask for their email, their phone number, and their social media tag if they have it. And this has been a huge help for us because I used to have to search for every single vendor on Instagram. And then, you end up with the DJs. It's like greatest DJ Chicago or whatever. And there's like 10 of them and you can't figure out which one's the one you worked with. So we try to get all this information from the couple so we know we have the right one. From there, we direct message them on social media. If they don't respond there, we'll also email it to them. And then lastly, we follow up and ask them what we can do for them. We have all this great wedding footage. We have all these great wedding photos of, the DJ, the florist, the venue. So we want to be helpful for them because we would love to go back to the venue, and we want to become friends with them. So that way, they feel like they can ask us for things. So then hopefully maybe they'll refer us, to the next wedding they have. So again, to recap, what do you gain from kind of the process we take? You gain client trust. They're going to feel more comfortable with you on the wedding day and in front of your camera. We can book larger packages normally from our process of kind of building that excitement and that hype for the couple. They want more things. They don't want just a short film. They want to see the whole day again. They want to have a way to relive it. So they want an album. You want to make them feel really excited about their wedding film or their photography. So they want to have, more items to go along with it, which is great for us. And then also the most important thing is the referrals. If you're making your clients extremely excited and extremely happy, they're going to tell everyone about you. They're going to tell them not just about the film and how great their film looked, but the whole process, from how you took care of them and, just how you asked the right questions and you helped educate them. So it goes a long way to have that excitement for the couple. Thanks again for listening to me. And I hope this was informative and educational. And I hope it gets you excited on new ways you could build excitement and hype for your clients. Thanks for checking out the podcast. If you made it this far, can you do me a favor? For my YouTube friends, please leave a comment on your biggest takeaway from this week's episode. I've also heard that there is some bell that you can ring that is really important. So if you could do that for me too, that would be great. And if you are on iTunes, I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a positive review. Your review helps get our podcast in front of other wedding business owners just like yourself, so they can learn just like you are. Thanks again, and Travis signing off.